What's up, good people? Back with today's reflection. And today's reflection comes from me watching this old game show called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And it got me reflecting and thinking that everybody wants to be a millionaire, right? I think that's the goal. That's become the goal for the average person in the world, is to be a millionaire, touch $1 million. Never mind what it takes to get $1 million. Never mind what it takes to keep $1 million. Never mind the responsibilities that come with $1 million, like taxes, higher taxes, right? And so what I want people to start thinking about is, getting $1 million would be great because it opens up so many more doors. You have so many more advantages that you can take advantage of. But also you got to understand that the responsibilities, like if the question says who wants to be a millionaire, but you got to be bankrupt for the next 10 years, would you still want to be a millionaire? If it says who wants to be a millionaire, but you got to spend the next 20 years in jail figuring out your life, converting, and then getting out, and then coming up with an idea to get you $1 million. Would you still want to be a millionaire? Yeah, you could be a millionaire, but you're going to be divorced 2 times, lose everything, have to go back living with your parents, and then something's going to click and then you're going to become a millionaire. Like all these different scenarios, and those are the extremes, right? I know everybody don't have those kind of extremes, but I'm just saying, like, we got to stop only looking at the goal and the finish line that we see, on social media or wherever, and thinking that, okay, that's where I got to go. That's where I got to reach. When you could be perfectly successful making $250,000, right? With less stress. And that don't mean that's what you settle for. If God put it on you in your journey, in your path, and it's his will for you to achieve $1 million, then go God's way. But don't just be looking at the society and the world, right? Because God tells us to come out of the world. Be transformed by the renewing of our mind. So stop looking at the world and saying, I got to get that goal, because that may not be your goal. You may trying to reach that goal and then mess around and you fail. Instead of you touching $1 million, you may go to zero. You may end up in an unfortunate situation. So stop focusing on the other people's goal. Everybody wants to be a millionaire, yes. But focus on your goal and your journey, and run your goal and your journey and your